Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast, episode 11, featuring guest Ace Nova, who's a military veteran that's been living in Cali, Colombia since 2019. Ace is a musician as well as a very established cook, and he also trains martial arts. Ace is essentially a jack of all trades, so this is going to be a great show. He's going to be sharing his experiences as an expat in Cali, Colombia. So without further ado, episode 11, listen and enjoy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast Show. This is the only show and the only podcast that we talk everything about Cali, Colombia. We have a great show for you today. Great guest. He's an expat, lives in Cali. He is a musician. He is a cook. He just pretty much does it all. And he's here to share his wonderful experiences in Cali, Colombia. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Mr. Ace Nova. Welcome to the show, Ace.
Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate I hope I can live up. I hope I can live up to all that you just said. I hope I can continue. I can continue to make that happen. How you doing
Absolutely.
today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's good to have you on the show. This is a long time coming, man. I've definitely wanted to have you on the podcast. I know you have a lot to share, many talents, and many good things you're doing here in Colombia. And by the way, for all of our viewers, I am currently in Cali, Colombia. You might hear a little background noise and motorcycles, and so I just definitely wanted to let you know that this show is live from Colombia today, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So let's get right into it. Ace, you're a good friend of mine. I know you, but I want the viewers to get acquainted with yourself and know who you are, where you come from, and what you currently do. So just share a little bit of that with us.
Appreciate it, Jeremy. Well, I first got here in 2019. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. I had an opportunity. I was in a bad situation, a matrimonial situation that I had to get out of, and I first came to visit. I ended up extending, ended up getting a visa. I'm currently a resident until 2030, anyways. My time in Cali, I've been working on my music. I have some music on Spotify. It's actually now available on Instagram and Facebook on your stories and your feeds. It could be added. I guess if enough people listen to it, they put it on there. So that's cool. From Jamaica. I am that guy they call El Jamaicano, I bring a different thing to Cali, bring a different vibe, different culture. So one of my greatest honors is being able to bring my family's food over here. I've been making my family's curry chicken, Jamaican curry chicken. I went to India, I learned how to make raita, good healthy food because the future is going to be a healing center situation. You
Hmm.
know, uh, we've trained martial arts together.
Yes.
Wing Chun is mine that
Hmm.
engages close combat fighting. Something I picked up along the way, here and there. Sometime I got to spend in the Orient, in Asia. I got to visit Hong Kong. I've always been, you know, anybody that grew up in the 80s, right? Remember Kung Fu movies? That was a thing. We
Definitely.
just not actually fall in line. Um, So I haven't been wasting time over here. Music is a big factor of mine. I'm a guitar player,
Hmm.
and a few places over here. I played at Salah Madame Blue. As you know, you see me at the
Hmm.
park in on Sundays. There's a barrio here where there's a lot of artists, and my right hand, Angelica, your student, uh, she um, she's quite the artist over there, and it's one of my greatest pleasures in life to go out and bring the guitar out. And one of my things there, I have to be, diplomacy is something I exercise always. And
Yeah.
one of the big honors of my life is being able to do what I do and
Hmm.
have these families come out on Sundays and to see their children and their babies and to be their introduction to the world of music and to the world of rock. And that more than anything, more than the money, you know. That's nice too. But more than that, it's about the experience and it's about reaching out and connecting with the Colombian people the best way you
Absolutely.
know how because we got to focus on our strengths and not our weaknesses.
Absolutely. That is so true. So what you first came to Cali in 2019. Had you been to other cities in Colombia or even in South America before you came to Cali? And then just a follow up question to that one. Why did you stay in Cali? What was it for you in Cali that you like, hey, I want to stay here, become a resident, ingrain myself, assimilate myself in the culture? What was that decision making process, um, and why did you make that decision?
I was in a I needed to get out of. I needed to separate. I was living in California before I came here, and I was in a very like an abusive type situation.
Mm,
Hard for a man to say that, but that's how I ended up coming to
hmm
Cali. Another Navy veteran told me about this place
hmm
and gave me some options and told me to at least check it out. So I first decided to come here to visit for 3 months,
hmm
and the moment I stepped off the plane, me being a Jamaican, the moment I stepped off the plane, I looked and I saw the hills and I saw the mountains, right?
hmm
And I saw the climate. Why Cali? In the 6 years, since 2019, the 7 years back and forth that I've been here,
hmm
there has not been one hurricane, right? My country in Jamaica just got a blowout hurricane. South Florida, where I grew up, get blowout hurricanes all the time. So
hmm
that is a benefit. The climate, one of the thing being in the position I'm in, I'm not 100% because I have some knee issues and some other things. I can't really go into detail from the military, but
hmm
being here before the American dollar started devaluing, hopefully that doesn't happen for too long.
Right.
The dollar stretches here,
Yeah.
so if you're balling on a budget,
hmm
this needs to do that. This place will allow you to have, if that is your situation, to
hmm
have the kind of life that you would not normally have somewhere else. For
Yeah.
example, what would have been enough, maybe for an apartment or a week of groceries after that over here, because things I guess you would equate it being like a quarter or a third, maybe a quarter of the price.
hmm
So your dollar's going to go four times further. So
Yep.
that was a major factor. And where I was in California compared to here, there was no comparison. So life got a little bit easier in that sense.
hmm
Um, before I started learning Spanish, it was a lot difficult. Now that the Spanish language is, taken root somehow after 7 years later, 6, 7 years later, it's a different experience. So that's a game changer right there. That's gonna change things. It's a must.
You brought up an interesting point. I don't think any one of my guests has ever said the fact that you're exactly right. No hurricanes. I've never heard of a hurricane in Cali or honestly in Colombia. I'm sure it's happened. The natural disaster have happened. But definitely here in Cali, I can honestly say that's a good point. I don't think there's ever been a hurricane, at least since I've been here.
Well, the fact is, we are 1,000 to 1,034 meters above sea level.
Mm.
So that makes a difference.
hmm And just
And
to
because location in relation to the equator makes a big difference as well.
That's true. So you being from Jamaica and then living in Florida, and I think you said you lived in California, right?
About 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the heat, humidity, it gets to a lot of people. I'm sure that wasn't a big deal for you coming from those places, right?
Actually, in Cali, the humidity would be worse if you
Yeah.
go to Buenaventura
Yeah.
because you're there by the water and you have that wet heat, the wet humidity, so it gets muggy. You could breathe. You could be in the shade walking, and there's no sun. You're sweating because that perspiration comes from that mugginess.
Hmm.
Here, I believe because of the elevation factor, it's still humid, but it's not as it's more of a dry heat than it would be in other places in Colombia.
So
So that's a plus.
that's a good point. And did you do the whole Medellin trips and Cartagena? And did you do that like a lot of American guys? They'll come to Colombia, and the first place they're headed to is Cartagena or Medellin or even Bogota, and they'll wear themselves out in those places, and then somehow eventually find their way into Cali. But it sounds like Ace, you decided to come to Cali, and that was like, hey, I'm Cali all the way. Is that true?
When I got here, I was in a very deep depression because of my situation that I was in.
Hmm.
And coming here, just the nature factor
Hmm.
would change everything to
Yeah.
you know. And that was a big that was a big one. It was just a different environment. Listen,
Hmm.
Bogota and Medellin, from what I know, I've had a chance to travel there.
Hmm.
I've done a 10-day visit. I didn't get a chance to enjoy it, or I haven't had a chance to see Colombia the way I wish I could have. You're
Hmm.
speaking about other people that come here and they wear themselves out. It depends on why you come here. There's a
Right.
lot of people that come. Let's just say a lot of people come here and they to do things that give you a strange kind of confidence to make terrible
Right.
decisions. I mean, so, and I'm not saying that I'm innocent when I came here for what it is that I was escaping.
Right.
I came here and I got to know the life, but there is there is a collective consciousness here,
Hmm.
and even other foreigners, it's just a part of the culture, and even other foreigners, if you're not careful, depending on what you're into, and if you get into that kind of thing, it can suck you in,
Yeah.
and
That's a good
even
point.
other foreigners, they become a part of that way of thinking that
Right.
that makes it different than anywhere else in life, anywhere else in the world.
No, you're exactly right. That is true. I've gone to most of the Caribbean islands. I go to the Dominican Republic a lot, and I always try to tell, in particular, the young guys, Ace. I always try to tell them, you need to establish a life for yourself. You need to establish a routine. Go to the gym. Get involved in things in the community. Because if they're going just to party and all of that, it's going to get old real quick. And then guess what? You can drain your bank account even in Colombia, even in Dominican Republic, and a lot of guys don't understand that. They might come down here with 50,000 saved or even $100,000 saved, and you could blow through it quick. People don't realize that.
Listen, for people like us that study martial arts and that philosophy and the Shaolin way, we
Hmm.
have an understanding, right?
Right.
Those dull, if you dull your perception, you're
Hmm.
inviting betrayal.
Yeah.
What have we learned? What have you seen here? They go out and then you encounter poison wrapped in
Yeah.
beauty, right?
Right.
And then it only takes one for them to blow it in your face, right? The
That's right.
episcopal mina, right? Because you have people trying to escape themselves. People come
Right.
here trying to escape themselves, and if that is your intention, it might not turn out the way you think it is. Like this is a place, and it took a while to learn. You have
Hmm.
to know where you are. You have to know your surroundings. Listen,
Right.
I admire the fact that this is a place that there is a lot of unity in
Hmm.
some aspect with the people. On the other side of that coin, because there is a duality, is you are a foreigner. You are an outsider here. No matter what
Hmm.
it is that you may think in your head, if you are out of line or off the cuff, don't think they will not be quick to unite because of their unity against you, the outside. So just be aware of your surroundings and be aware of where you are. And another thing in life, for situations you don't want to be in, don't put. me
Right.
tell you something. See, early to bed, early to rise, that works for me. You know what I learned in the U.S. Navy? Nobody uses an ATM machine at 1 o'clock in the morning and then goes out and does anything positive. I'm just stating facts.
That is so true. That is so true. Matter of fact, that's worth saying again. I think for the viewers that are still the younger generation that want the fast glitz, I need you to say that again, Ace. That was a good one.
No one goes out and uses the ATM at 1 in the morning and then does anything positive. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Why do you
Poking the
believe?
devil.
I didn't want to. I always try to tread lightly on the passport bro situation, but I think it's to the point now where it does need to be addressed because Ace, it seems like every week we hear of another case where an American got drugged, either American or European or Canadian got drugged, and in some cases they didn't survive. You know, I think the least thing that could happen is you get a lot of stuff stolen and your pride gets hurt. But a lot of these guys aren't walking away from these situations. And you said something very true that it only takes one time, one bad woman with a terrible intentions, but
Not all that glitters is gold. Not everything that looks
exactly.
nice.
And that's what I wanted you to kind of touch on just a little further. Do you think that the whole passport bro thing is kind of coming to an end, that whole phase? Or is it just they're getting cracked down on and they're getting in bad situations now where it's like they kind of got scared straight and now it's like people are getting scared to come to Colombia. What do you think? What is your opinion about that whole situation and where it stands today?
The situation with the passport bros, from what I've seen, they're going online and they're making posts about it and they're
Hmm.
drawing the wrong attention. See? And so now when they come, you see reports at the airport, the cops can just walk up to you, give me your phone. What are you gonna do? You can't say no. You gotta turn over your phone. So
Right,
now it's gotten to that point. And the more they do it, you think the Colombians, they don't see what's going on. You think they want you people coming here from the state because they have money to exploit their women? No.
right,
They're only gonna let it happen for so long. Like when
right.
they decide it's gonna stop, don't people might get the wrong impression because this place is labeled as a third world country,
Hmm.
but when it comes to order, like I've seen the different sides of Colombia.
Yeah,
And if they decide they don't want something to happen, it's not going to happen.
right,
It's like you go to the migration office, right? You see other foreigners are in line, and somebody they start arguing, going off the cuff because they think what they come from this place or Europe
right.
or Europe, and they could just be off the cuff, and they'll come out, they'll tell you straight, listen, here you're in Colombia, you need
Yeah.
to obey these laws. And
Hmm.
how is it looking? They know what's going on. Yes, there is a way of life here where
Hmm.
certain things are legal, like what goes on in Medellin, for example, why it draws that kind of attention.
Yeah.
And people work, but the fact is people coming in and then predators, right? Hurting the young,
Yeah.
that go on. Listen,
Hmm.
have you ever seen what happens if somebody gets caught stealing here? They get together, they take out their own retribution,
Yeah.
and
I
the
have seen that.
save those people. Now, if they will do that to one of their own,
Right.
right?
Right.
They got their own justice.
Yep.
What do you think they will do to you as a foreigner? So they
Exactly.
might be in one angle, there's money coming in, yeah, but it's going to get to a point. I personally, in my opinion, I don't see that going very far
Yeah.
because now airport and now people cutting the laws are getting stricter here.
Yeah.
Even now, thing I try never to speak about politics. I just speak in generalities.
Sure.
There's a lot of tension going on between
Hmm.
Colombia, where it is that we're passport holders from, right? The US of A. And that alone is a tension.
Right.
So with being the way they are,
Mm-hmm.
don't add fire.
Right.
I mean, and that right there with everything going on, I'm just speaking facts.
Yep.
As a veteran, and what I speak, Venezuela is right next door.
Mm-hmm.
The lead has been captured, and us being Americans and foreign, especially Americans, it's not very hard. It's not very far away, and if they know who you are, what do you
Right.
think can happen? So
Exactly.
know where you are, know your surroundings, just be aware.
Right.
But the passport bros, that's what I see.
No, and I agree with you. At the end of the day, some things need to change. I always say, Ace, some of the greatest progress is when you have change, and I think this whole thing of guys coming to a country for bad intentions, and in particular these guys that prey on these young innocent girls, the Colombian authorities need to crack down on them. And I say it live. I've been saying it live. They need to be dealt with. And so I think change is good. I think Colombia is trying to get a more mature tourist now, which is what we want to see in Cali. We don't want to see the whole um, exploitation and all that. The stuff that's going on in Medellin, we don't want to see that in Cali. I've said that many times on my podcast and in my platform, and I'll continue to say it. Cali should and hopefully continues to attract the mature tourists, the guys like yourself that bring so much to the culture here, which is what I want to talk about next. You have a lot of skills and talents that we have to talk about that the world needs to know, my brother. One thing is, let's start with the cooking. Obviously, I love you cooking. I had some of your curry chicken last week, and it was excellent. It was excellent, man. And how did you get into cooking, man? How did you become such a good cook? Like I know you got the Jamaican roots, but how did you become such a good cook, man?
Being in Colombia, when I was in the Navy, a lot of my travels, was stationed in Japan. And we went to places like Guam, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, just to name a few. But all
Hmm.
those places I went, all those foods that I ate, living here in Colombia for a few years, you can't get those foods. And the only way that you can get them is to learn how to make it. So
Hmm.
what I started doing, I started hitting up my international friends from my travels, my time in Japan, and my time in India, and talking about recipes and looking up recipes. And then I would look up 3 or 4 different kinds internationally from 4 different countries. And then from that, I would draw my own version. But the Jamaican curry, that's something more in the family. That for me is something that keeps me connected to the ancestors.
Yeah.
For example, when I was young, I remember Sundays in Jamaica. We had the kitchen, my
Hmm.
Auntie Rosita had the kitchen separate from the house, right? And my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, my Auntie Rosita, they would be there and they'd be
Hmm.
arguing. And boys can't be in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
But the smell of the food, and every time I eat this food, right, I remember that scene, those Sunday mornings, and
Yeah.
I almost get emotional sometimes, right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, what I'm about to do here in Colombia, this is Uncle Bull's mango takari. See? Remember that
Hmm.
green mango curry that you ate? Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
go global. And I started put my uncle, he's my last living uncle, he's 82. And I put his face on the bottle, it's a green mango curry, call it mango takari. The
Hmm.
Colombian people, all the things that I make, that is the that seems to be the star around here. All right?
You giving
So
away some secrets now, Ace. I'm gonna take some notes.
and they don't exist anywhere else. So this is green mango curry. It's being bottled up, and I'm gonna have it available. There's a couple of events going on, and this is the product that's going to be launched. So I want to bring my culture here. I love to feed people.
Mhm.
I worked in the hospitality industry for a long time. After the
Mhm.
military, and one of the things I like to do, I like taking care of people. One of my goals here in Colombia is to bring a healing center with the
Mhm.
food I'm not sure if you know, I'm a massage therapist. I was certified at Sheridan Tech in South Florida, accredited university for massage therapy. So since I came here, so I like to bring massage. I like to bring the food. I like to bring Wing Chun, the martial arts. I like for us to have a healing center here. I like for Cali to be a place where people can come and come international. They can come on a Thursday, they leave on a Monday. I'll provide the food, I'll provide the body work. We'll do meditation. I do meditations with mantras and Om meditation, and working with sound and vibrations and calm and breath work. It all ties into Tai Chi and Wing Chun and martial arts and
Hmm.
Chinese Kung Fu. It's going to be a place to enhance your mind body spirit connection.
Hmm.
You're asking about the food, the foods I strive to produce, like not just flavorful foods, because it's
Hmm.
very important to me what it tastes like, but
Hmm.
also the benefits of the food. For
Right.
example, I make a salad. I use Greek yogurt. The raita is made with Greek yogurt. Put in carrots and onions and cilantro
Mm.
and uh, and cucumbers, and it's high in probiotics. Right? I make a taco with shrimp and pumpkin. The
Mm.
pumpkin taco. It has flavors nowhere else can it be found here. But more than that, the benefits of eating pumpkin is high in beta carotene, which
Hmm.
is cancer preventative foods.
Right.
Uh, we're eating red onions, which is cleaning your lungs, cilantro, which is antioxidants. So these are foods for people. I want people to eat these foods and feel good, not
Yeah.
just eat fried foods and you have to go lay down 2 or 3 hours, right? We
Right.
want it to be. So that's my goal here, and that's what we want to do with food. So it's supposed to be your food is your medicine. You know?
Hmm.
So eat,
What a perfect combination. What a perfect
so eat some.
combination. Good food, medicine, healing, the whole combination, man, is what a lot of people in the states need. Um,
That's it.
you know how it is in the states. Love my country, but everything is rush. Everything is high stress. Is grind, and sometimes people just need to calm down and relax. That's one of the things I love about Cali, man, is being able to come here and relax and get sort of almost feel like I'm getting off the grid. I mean, in a big city, metropolitan city, but it feels like you're off the grid, and that's what a lot of people need for longevity, man.
Listen, you just asked me what I think about Cali compared to other places, like
Hmm.
this place compared to other places in Colombia and other places in the world. Let's be real. It's
Hmm.
like this place is like back in time. It's like I'm in Back to the Future, right? And we like went back to the 80s. Like things here
Yeah,
happens at a different pace,
yeah.
right? I've heard about Bogota. It's like Rush. It's like a New York City kind of thing, and
Hmm.
Medellin. But here, listen, it's good. It's like that. My personal opinion about the functionality of a place like that. There's no, and for a lot of people, not just myself, or somebody that comes from the outside and come here,
Hmm.
when especially being military structured and minded, and you have to get things done a certain way at a certain time.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe Ace is frozen. Let's see if perhaps he could be having a Wi-Fi issue going on there. Hopefully, let's see if we can get him back. While we're waiting to get him back, there we go. There we are.
Corners, losing.
I lost you for a second there, or actually a couple of seconds there, Ace. But I think you were talking in terms of just New York City, U.S. being stressed and comparing Cali to other places in the world.
It's more like things happen at a slower pace here, right?
Hmm.
Things happen at a slower pace. They have a different rhythm, different frequency, if you will,
Yeah.
right? Like where things happen at a certain order and a certain rhythm.
Hmm.
That's not here. right?
Absolutely.
If you're looking for punctuality, if, for example, other places you'll be in the world, if I say, bro, I'm gonna meet you at 9 to go for coffee. We're gonna meet at 4:15 to go to the park. 4:15, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. 4:15 here, for example, you're gonna hear from the person at like a half hour after you're supposed to meet,
Right.
and then they're gonna tell you traffic, and it's just a different way. So when
Right.
people say this is gonna happen at this time, don't take things so literally. I want to tell you one of the first things somebody said to me when I first got here. And if you're a foreigner, listen, when crossing a one-way street, look both ways.
Yeah.
Look both ways.
Right. Yeah. That is so true. That is so true. I've definitely learned to do that. Thank God I haven't been hit by a car or a motorcycle, but I've definitely learned you look both ways. And also, Ace, you don't just do a slow walk across the street. You
Gotta
hustle.
be a certain.
Exactly, exactly. Now let's talk about the fact that you're a musician, because again, you're one of those guys I call just a jack of all trades. You do a little bit of everything. Um, I have heard you perform in the park, classic rock, and you're really good on that guitar. How did you get into being a musician? What was your inspiration?
Well, well, my family, my grandfather had two brothers, God rest his soul, and when they're alive, one of them played guitar. He was mentally challenged, but he played guitar in the church. The other brother played keyboards, accordions. My uncles. So it is genetic to a great sense, and a lot of my relatives on that side of the family.
Hmm.
So playing guitar, one day I came home from school. There was a guy sitting there. I was 1991 to give away my age. There's a guy sitting there, and my mom says, "Edison, you're taking music lessons." I'm like, I don't know if you know anything about Jamaican parents, but there's no arguing. You have no opinions, right?
Right.
Like being in the military, yeah? You're given an order, you do what you're told. So I started taking lessons, ASM Music School in South Florida. We had a music festival. And I
Hmm.
remember it was some hotel, the Dolphin Hotel in Fort Lauderdale. My
Hmm.
mom said to me, "Better win. You know how much money your father's spending for us to stay here? Make sure you win." Once again, Jamaican parents, yeah. So I did my very best. So a couple of trophies come out of that. I don't really like talking about that these type of accolades, right? But some good things came out of it, and then it came to a halt. I realized early in life, like I like to do like art gives you a certain kind of freedom. I like to do things my way. I'm not really one for other people's rules, and
Hmm.
music that freedom. So I broke away from the standard music theory and learning to play music.
Hmm.
And years passed by, life happened. When I was in the military, and you're stuck on an aircraft carrier, and you're working 12 on, 12 off, and you have 12 hours to rest before you have to work 12 hours again, week after week, Sunday to Sunday. You need something to like an anchor for your mind
Right.
when you're underway 3 4 months. And the guitar for me was that thing, and it was really really difficult because I was in a place like we're there to work on aircrafts, and there was a time I was going to stop. I was just going to pack it up, pack, and just be done with it.
Hmm.
There wasn't a lot of time to practice. They would turn off the lights. There was no more practice, and everybody's going to bed. And one of my Navy brothers, Scotty Anderson, he was the one that turned me on to Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? Blues, and gave me that appreciation. And when I was about to pack it up, was the one that said to me, "This is something that you can never stop doing."
Yeah.
And those words stuck in my head somehow. And that's why my guitar, his name, my guitar is Scotty Anderson, right? I play an Ibanez, and that Jimi Hendrix sound, that Stevie Ray
Yeah.
Vaughan sound, like it's all connected. Right?
Right.
It's very like music and food. They have a way of transporting you to places that you were. There are songs you hear, you can
Yeah.
be transported back to where
So
you
true.
were. last heard it and feel how you were feeling when you last heard it.
Right.
The human mind is an amazing thing.
That is so true. You are exactly right. I can listen to a Stevie Ray Vaughan song, and then you're exact 100% right. It put me in a certain mood when I heard the song the first time, where I was in a bar, in a car. Whenever I heard that song, it is like you're exactly right. It's a little bit of nostalgia to hear classic music, classic rock. And you do very well, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard Ace, if you have not heard him in person, I'm telling you, if you love Stevie Ray Vaughan, if you love Jimi Hendrix, if you love Led Zeppelin, if you love the classic rock, you definitely want to book my man Ace for an event, because he's real good on the guitar. I'll just leave it that way. I'm not going to toot your horn. I'm going to let the viewers book you for a gig or come to one of your gigs, Ace. And,
Absolutely.
and with that being said, how can somebody get a hold of you? If somebody wants to book you for an event, or for a show or whatever, how do they get a hold of you?
What I always let them know, I always lead them to my Instagram. I just had some cards made, by the way, for Ace Nova.
Okay.
El Hamay, it's Ace Nova Musical Culinario, because we're doing food and we're doing music, right? We're filling their stomach and touching their hearts and minds. So Ace Nova Musical Culinario, it'll take you to the Instagram, and you can get an idea of what I do. A couple of performances, a couple live performances I've done. I charge 150,000 pesos for an hour, Colombian prices.
Hmm.
If we're in the States, it'll be a lot different, but
Go
we're
ahead.
moving and living in love. And I've done a few gigs here, living here in Granada. There's
Mhm.
realistically, the time's gonna come. I'm gonna have to go to Bogota, because Cali, as far as rock music, it's not as it would be in other places. This is the salsa capital. Well, we're lucky to even find that here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I first came here, I won't go into detail. We've talked about this
Hmm.
offline. Uh, you got to be careful of the company you keep. You got to know your friends from your foes.
Hmm.
One of the things that I've learned here is to know the difference. Not everybody that eats at your table is your friend. You know what I mean? And I've also learned the most important lesson that I can learn here in Cali, and just in life. Other people's perceptions are reflections of their perspective, not the direction of your reality. Do with that as you will. That's just something that I've learned here. That means that what they think of you does not affect your direction.
Mm. Powerful
Control,
words indeed.
control.
Powerful words indeed. Why don't you go ahead and put up that card again so the viewers can see it? There you go. Yep. So
Ace.
ladies
No.
and gentlemen, if you want to book Ace for an event, again, he is a great cook. So if you want to, get a show organize, reach out to Ace on Instagram, and then also try some of his food. Again, I could 100% say his curry chicken is the bomb. When you eat some of it, you definitely gonna finish the plate. You're gonna finish the plate probably in one serving, because I did. So definitely the viewers, if you like good food, if you like good music, Ace is definitely going to be your guy that you want to talk to. Now, I want to talk a little bit more, Ace, about this healing center that you want to organize and basically orchestrate here in Cali. Is that sort of like your 5-year plan, or is that like something you want to do as soon as
It's something
possible?
that's been in the process for some time. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Good.
been an idea that was born here, and it's been, as time goes on, just keeps growing and growing and growing. And every step I take is about making that happen.
Hmm.
I got to talk about religion. Or I'm a follower of the Sanatan Dharma, right? I'm Indian, I'm Hindu, and That plays a big factor about trying to create healing in the world. Trying, as Gandhi would say, being the change that you want to see in the world. I believe without my help, the world has enough problems on its own with the wars and everything. All you have to do is look around to see the reality of what's going on. And what I'm attempting to do here is to be a part of that solution.
Right.
You take an oath. You take the oath when you join the military. When you become a therapist, you take the Hippocratic oath. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tell them, listen, miss me with the political BS. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we're trying to do here is something bigger than that. We're trying to heal. We're trying to be a part of the solution. We're trying to
Yeah.
unite people. Right. We're trying to, create light into the world. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the world is dark enough. Right. And all we're trying to do is just alleviate the human suffering, man.
Yeah.
And that's what Radica is about, to do no harm. That's
Well,
my take.
and I tell you, you're exactly right. And I second that. The world definitely needs more peace and healing because, man, it seems like you can't even turn on the news or turn on social media without it being negative. I find myself, even since I've been out here the last couple of weeks, man, I stay off. So other than, you know, obviously my platform, I'm always active on my platform. But as far as scrolling through social media, it's too much negative, Ace. And I would highly recommend and encourage people to do exactly what you're saying. Get off social media so much, stay away from the politics. Think in terms of, peace and being happy. Because life is short. I know it's an old cliche to say it, but life is really, really short if you look at it. And so to add to, like you said, the darkness and the problems, um, is not what we should do. We should try to promote peace and, like you said, healing and just positivity in general. So I appreciate what you're doing in Cali, and I definitely, in any way I can, will help you. Push the effort of what you're doing to continue it.
And that's what I want to dedicate my music to, and like I'm a big, growing up, being a Bob Marley is a big influence on me, is a big inspiration on me. And
Hmm.
those songs and the meaning of those songs, and
Hmm.
it's almost like a repeat of what happened like with the Vietnam era, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Wars happened, music came out, but music was a way to like heal the people
Hmm.
and heal the nation. I mean, Jimi Hendrix would talk about that, right?
Right.
Music is like its own medicine, sound and vibrations, and using that. And like I said, using it to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Like
Right.
I'm a big believer, like Bob Marley, the Beatles, and what they stood for. Not just what
Hmm.
they stood for, what the sound of their song, but what those songs meant. And to
Right.
try to recreate that in this time, in this generation, and let's try to move forward.
Absolutely. Now,
No, it's a
I did.
little bit nice, man.
Well, so I did want to talk about, we were talking about a lot of things going on in the world. Cali, as you know, does get a bad rap for being a dangerous city. In fact, we did have an incident just yesterday, Ace, and you know what I'm talking about, where there was unfortunately an explosion out. Was it
Okay.
four? Yeah, yeah. It's very unfortunate. I can't remember if there was any fatalities. I know there was a few people that were hurt. Hopefully, there wasn't any fatalities. Because I actually somebody had forwarded the information to me. Because again, I try to stay off social media if I can. But it's a
I
lot going
did.
on, and even in Cali, unfortunately, there things do happen, like what happened yesterday. But I guess what I want to ask you, or what I do want to ask you, is all of that being said, there's a lot of people that won't come to Cali because they think it's a dangerous city. What do you say to the person that wants to come to Cali, but they think the city is too dangerous, and it's not tourist friendly? What do you say to that person or people?
I say you have to know what it is you want, and you have to know why it is that you want it.
Mm,
That's first. Listen, us, we get up early, right? We go walking, we go to the river, I live in that side of Cali. I live in that side of Cali now
Mm-hmm.
because that's the situation I put myself in. That's my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
The nightlife here, if once again, situations you don't want to be in, don't put yourself there.
Right.
You are a foreigner here. If you don't speak
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, we'll know you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
You doing that, you're making yourself a target.
Yeah.
For example, here there are barrios that are, for example, Granada, El Pinon, where
Mm-hmm.
people are a little more economically viable. Let's
Yes.
say, let me put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Stay diplomatic. And now there are other barrios like Siloé where they don't have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they will come down where the people live in a different stratus, because they have different stratuses here. They think it's
Mm-hmm.
a and do what they feel that they have to do, either to survive or for malicious reasons.
Right.
So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
Is Cali dangerous? It depends on where you are, and it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the time that you're there. If you're out here at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, walking around with tools, it can happen. But
Right.
that can happen anywhere, you know.
Exactly.
So I don't know enough about other cities in Colombia to say which is. I've heard the stigma here that this is most dangerous here. I haven't really seen that, but again, I'm no longer. I'm not saying that I've always been this way, but the lifestyle that I live, me getting up early in the morning and doing what I'm doing and going out, I'm not out late, and
Yeah.
so for me, it's not. But again, it depends on why you're here, what you're looking for,
Right.
and what you're. You know.
So true. So true. And just to add to that, you could decrease your chances of things happening just based on how you live and how you move out here. You're exactly right. 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock is typically nothing good open, and even if something is open, you might not want it. You might not want it. So I agree
The
with you.
way, the way people need to look at things is the way that you're being viewed as a foreigner here.
Yeah.
You know, try to remember this is in all sense of a third world. It's a developing country. Excuse
Yeah.
me. It's a developing country.
Correct.
And with that being said, you coming here, especially people coming here, and you're trying to impress women, wearing the bling and you're making yourself a target.
That's right. What
What
they say? No,
man?
no dark papaya, right? No dark papaya.
No puedes andar papaya, papi. Baila, baila. Right?
Exactly. Now,
They even have a saying for it, right? They even have
right,
a saying for it,
right.
papaya. So be aware.
Well, and there's so much stuff going on. Like I remember we did a nice hike, you, your girlfriend, and myself, a couple days ago, and we took a nice scenic route that we actually went through the mall. And we were going through the mall. Ace, I kept thinking to myself, I wish people saw what I see right now. These really high uh, brand stores and how clean the mall is. A lot of people get the stigma that we're Cali in the '70s with the Rodriguez brothers and all of that stuff going on. And what we see in the barrios that we live in is we see a nice developing city that has so much potential, so much flavor, and so much culture. And if you want to spend money here, if you like the high end stores, Cali's got them. If you like the malls, Cali's got them. Even the other day, the other night, I went to a nice cigar bar here in El Peon, and again,
Nice picture.
Cali, yes, right. Cali has a little bit of everything you would need if you're a mature tourist. If you're a mature immigrant expat, to me, Cali has everything you need. So, in your opinion, Ace, you believe? Well, let me ask the question this way: do you feel? Has there been any point? here in Cali where you've been like, okay, I'm really reevaluating Cali from a safety standpoint? And I'm asking you this question for a reason. I'll tell you, the reason why I'm asking that question is I'm trying to give viewers a sense of you could be in Chicago or Memphis or Long Beach, California, and things could happen. You could also be in Cali, Colombia, or Jamaica, or anywhere else, and things could happen. So it's all relative. But to get back to my question, has there been ever been a point in time where you like, okay, I'm really starting to question my safety here?
Yeah, there
Mm,
has.
mm,
Because of people that I've been associated with. I'm not talking about like I'm talking about regular people, like women,
mm-hmm,
people that were when I first got here. Some people that I was associated. I was introduced. I'm not going to go into detail. A certain bar owner,
mm-hmm.
other foreign, right? That wasn't really the best influence, and they were here for, and they brought these type of people, the bar environment. Listen, the kind of place where it's energetically chaotic, right? These type of people, there's a thing here with Cali. You know why people here typically are always very like nice, try to be nice to each other because of the history associated with Cali. Remember what happened here in the 80s, right? So you never know who is who. You might look at someone and you think it's just a simple person, but things go on here. You know, you don't hear about it, you don't read about it, but that's the reality. Because you know what I learned in the military? Loose lips sink ships. I learned it in the Navy. I see nothing, I hear nothing, I say nothing. They don't have nothing to do with me. My name is Paul. This here is between y'all. Feel me? But be aware. I'll give you one example, and you can make up your own mind. Okay? Just so you know where you're at. See here, sometimes there's no holiday, nothing special, but 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear fireworks going off.
Mm, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
they're celebrating. They're celebrating for a reason, right? The package
Wow.
went through. That goes on here.
Mm,
Be smart. Know where you're at.
wow. Interesting.
Don't think, do not think for a minute that they will hesitate. So listen, it's a different world here.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
But
Interesting.
at the same time, if you're not putting yourself in a position for that to happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
Yeah.
If you're in an area where it's public and there's police here, all right. If you're in a brothel at 1:30 in the morning, leaving with these type of places,
Right.
I'm just saying you're putting yourself there. So it
Exactly.
depends on what you want and why you want it.
Right.
We
Now
live here, but we have a different lifestyle. We don't have that problem. But
right.
you get what I'm
Now
saying, right?
you're exactly right, and I think, like I say, I hope hopefully the viewers are listening. Um, again, if you're a younger viewer, and the reason why I keep saying younger is we've all been young, we made mistakes, but unfortunately, if you go to other countries and you make mistakes, you might not walk away from that mistake, or you might ever be the same after that mistake. And so, it's very imperative to understand your surroundings, know where you are, and like you said, Ace, um, know how to move, know what to do and what not to do. It is extremely important for your survival, and that's really not
Right.
just in Cali. That's anywhere. Look, I could take you some places in my home city. I was uh, born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. I could tell you some places you don't want to go in Jackson. You know, um, I could tell you some
Okay.
places in North Memphis and Atlanta you don't want to go to. If you go late at night, something can happen. So it's not just Cali; it's really just how you live. Period.
The thing about here is you could go 2 blocks in one direction and you're like in Granada, right? With the
Right.
boutiques and shops. And you go 2 blocks in like another direction,
Right.
it looks like a place like Afghanistan after it got bombed out, right? So
Right.
they talk about the Stratuses and the.
Yeah.
We have El Peñon in San Antonio, right? You go to the San Antonio part, everything is colonial, broken down. You're in a status street. You cross the road, you go to El Peñon, you're in status sticks with high-end restaurants and people walking around in suits and gowns. Right?
Right.
It's just how it is here.
Exactly.
Different
Exactly.
society in a different class, and every neighborhood has its own like class system. And what can cost you one price in one neighborhood, you
Hmm.
can go to another neighborhood that's not as in a lower stratus and get it for a cheaper price. I've
Yes.
never seen anything like that before, man. Only here. And the level of competition that I've seen. Listen,
Yeah.
here, even with the parking and the restaurants, for example, you will be walking on the road and you
Hmm.
see one Chinese restaurant here,
Hmm.
but either next to it or across the street there's another. Like Cholada, right?
Right.
Cholada is a big thing. There's a place here by the stadium, and every place is a Cholada place. And I
Yes.
wonder to myself, with that kind of competition, like how does that function? Like how do people make money doing that? Like I know this is a different society, but it's just something that's always really baffled me. Like the,
Hmm.
the competition level. Like even the people that do the parking here, you see them arguing in the street over the clients. It's just unreal to me.
Hmm.
We go to you see like one supermarket and a super inter here down and park at El Perro. The other side there's a super inter. On this side there's a Caruja. Two
Hmm.
supermarkets side by side, and that to me is one of the biggest. Just I know it's part of the culture and the society, but this is really unreal to me.
There's a lot of nuances like that that you would think like how does it work? But it works because they're still getting business. People are out there. People are patronizing the business, and you see that a lot. You definitely see that a lot. That is so true. We did have a comment. Say David. Uh, David says salute to everyone. Thanks for your comment. Thanks for your support of the show. We appreciate that. Also, I want to remind everyone that if you ever want to donate to the show, you can absolutely do that. As you can see on screen, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle is out. Any donation helps. We always want to keep the lights on and keep our guests um, keep our guests coming and flowing. We want to continue to promote Cali culture. The whole purpose of this platform is I want people to see Cali in a good light, a positive light, because it is a great culture. Um, Ace is out here. I don't think Ace is going anywhere. I know you're not going anywhere, Ace. I'm not
Right.
going anywhere. And so is tourists and expats, and I call us immigrants now because we're ingrained in the culture. Is immigrants like ourselves, I think that help um,
We are a part of the foreign
show
community.
exactly show the positivity in Cali. We're not about the negativity. We're about the positivity. And it's great, Ace, having you as a friend and somebody I can hang out with out here as well. We'll definitely have to have you on the show again. We've almost reached an hour, but I want to give you the final 2 minutes. Anything you want to share? Obviously, I want to encourage the viewers to book my man Ace for a show, try some of his cooking, amazing dishes, amazing cuisine. And I'm gonna give the floor over to you, Ace.
Appreciate it. What I want to say and what I appreciate is what you got going on over here, my friend. Like for you to come here, there's different communities. Like before, they try to do a foreign community here,
Hmm.
and I see what you're doing here, the community that you're building with some good, like we're practicing martial arts and the things that
Right,
you're into is very positive, and we need that here. We need that here for the foreigners, and everybody comes here for that, and people that's
right.
been living here. And what you're doing, man, to connect people,
Hmm.
it's a really powerful thing. And in the future, with what it is that I want to do, I believe that together we could do a really good thing here,
Absolutely.
and that's what.
We'll definitely be collaborating for sure, for sure. And let's see. We've got another comment here. We've got another question. It says, David says, do you by chance do consultations? Because I saw you on live crossing. Oh, yeah, Love Crossing Borders channel. Great interview. Oh, yes, David. I do private consultations. You can go to traveltocali.com and book a consultation. You can book a 30-minute consultation or a 60-minute consultation. So I highly encourage you and other viewers, if you haven't been to Cali, or even if you've been to Cali before and you want to have some more additional information, highly recommend you book a consultation. Um, when I go to a
Absolutely.
different country, I definitely always book a consultation with somebody that's been there, that knows the culture. And if I don't know the question or can't give you the information, I'll reach out to my man Ace or one of my other friends and ask them. So definitely go to traveltocali.com, book that consultation, and I'd be more than
I'd be
happy to
honored.
for you.
Your pleasure.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do some tours, walking tours like we did. What we did there when we walked to the park. I'd love to do that for other foreigners and other people visiting here. You know, like a concierge, restaurants, walks, tours. Like, if I can do that for other foreigners here, I'd love to be here to serve the community, man.
Absolutely. And viewers, again, reach out. Ace, before we go, give me that Instagram one more time.
Ace Nova Musico Culinario.
There you have it.
Ah,
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to reach out to Ace. Like I say, he's a jack of all trades. He can do a little bit of everything. And he did mention his walking tour. I did the walk with him just a few days ago, so I would highly recommend. You're gonna go through what, three different barrios we went through, Ace, and we also
we
saw
went
Chippy
to
Chape Mall as
Granada,
well.
Santa Monica, La Flora.
Exactly. So you're gonna see a lot on this 6 mile walk, and it's going to be highly worth it. So get a hold of my man Ace. He's here full time. You guys know I'm here part time, and then I'm in the U.S. sometimes. Ace is here all the time, so he's definitely a good resource that you should reach out to. Well, we've surpassed our time today. Thank you very much, Ace, for coming on the show. We'll definitely have to have you again on the show because there's many other topics we didn't even discuss today. We'll have you on the show again in the next few months. And obviously, I'll see you soon. For everyone, absolutely, absolutely. For everyone, thanks for joining the show, for listening to the show. We appreciate the support. Let's all continue to build this platform of not only expats and immigrants, but also locals as well. We want to have a community of locals, tourists, expats, immigrants, where we all have the same common goal, and that is love for Cali, Colombia. So, with that being said, always remember Cali is Cali. Let's continue to build, let's continue to grow the community, respect the culture. So, everyone have a good day. Tune in for the next time, for the next show, same time, same place, Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time or 2 o'clock p.m. Colombia time. So, with that being said, hasta luego. See you the next time.
Thank you for watching the Cali Culture Podcast with Jeremy Preston. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week for our next episode.